You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hacker.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail.
Yeah, where the Kool Moe Dee record?
Yeah, I can take that one.
You like Kool Moe Dee's record?
I can at least understand what he's saying.
Brand New Heat? Can I get the Brand New Heat real quick?
Yeah,
Hey, listen, Kool Moe Dee is one of my best friends.
no doubt.
Like Jim Brown is one of your dear friends.
Absolutely.
Right? Kool Moe Dee got new music, and it's meaningful. Let's hear it right now. Turn it up.
All the old heads with young hearts. Let's do it. Truth is, time for some newness. Only a chosen few really do this. Who's this? Young Jesus, who's this? It's the God on the mic, you're rude, it's OG. The original God, the vanguard, still giving you bars. Cats couldn't see the visuals too hard. It's the classic, vintage, brand new car. I'm a 6'4", bouncing on hydraulics. Granddaddy's caddy with the bright red polish. I'm the equivalent when I drop it. It's worth more now than it was in the hotness. Real talk, my paradigm is timeless. Showed you what time it is, now you know what time is. My clock is the heart when the mind shifts. The young-hearted OG's timeline flip. Brand new heat.
I think we in trouble. Because if Bobby like hip-hop, it might not be good. Kool Moe Dee! Hey, let it ride. Let me get this second verse real quick. Come on.
Pull your pants down a little bit. Pause. Pull your pants down a little bit. Pause. Pull your pants down, sag a little bit. Pause. Only my wifey can see my drawers. I'm OG. That comes with a G code. Energy is always in G mode. My speed is not a young G's flow. I ride with them, but I'm not a young G. No, my style, cool in the cut. Hat broke down, pants pulled up. Cut from a cloth that you can't kill. Cause no matter how hard hate can't
You
kill.
like that, huh,
Love,
Bobby?
baby, throwback. You can call it what you call it. See it how you
Y'all
see
look
it,
at
or
Bobby.
see it how
He's
you see
feeling it.
I'm just looking at
Bobby
my
don't like
count.
hip-hop.
My wallet and a 30 years a stack is still giving it to y'all. Brand new.
Yo, the So What Morning Show is back in the building. Live. T Radio V, that's radio in TV. You know we get turned up in here. It's Monday. We got another ignorant topic that must be discussed.
Immediately.
Immediately. But before we do that, you know what is commonplace for us? We got to promote black businesses. Recycling of black dollars. That video, remember that video of the sister who did the TED Talk?
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
That sister broke down how in each, I guess, cultural society, whether it be Chinese, Italian-American, Jewish, black, African-American, all this, how long their dollar stays in their community. And the dollar stays in the African-American community the least amount of time of all the other ethnic groups.
6 hours.
Right?
Our bucket got a hole in it.
No, the sister broke it down and said the Jewish community, their dollar stays in their community 18 days, recycles through their businesses, and then goes out of their community. In our community, it leaves in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So this is why I promote businesses who can't afford, say, fucking $10,000 worth of on-air promotion. I promote them for free. The brother comes and delivers these juices. And I want to say thank you to all the people who saved this brother's business, because a little while ago, he was going to quit. He was like, man, ain't nobody got my back. So, shit. I thank you guys for doing it. I think Bobby wants this one. Strawberry lemonade. What is it? Strawberry lemonade. This is strawberry, apple, pear,
than you look, Bobby.
lemon. Bobby, is this the one you want? This one?
Man, come on.
I'm not going to be able to hand it to you today. Hey! Weed juice. Y'all got to support this, brother. What is this? Pineapple sunset? Pineapple, apple, carrot, celery? Yeah. We're gonna be
Did you just what?
Whoa! Pineapple, strawberry, orange, banana, spinach. Yeah. Y'all can have the rest of this shit. No, seriously, I want you guys to support this brother. He's a good brother, man. Continue to help this brother out. Let me apologize again. The sister prepared candy for y'all.
Man.
And I left it.
Man.
She asked me to pick it up. She said, look, it's sitting right there. Don't forget it. And I left it. But
that's 1 minute in the body protector.
Pistachio, white chocolate, toffee, crunch, something or other. I had a couple pieces this morning before I left.
Thank you for that.
But then I forgot.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
Shit. Shepherd Sweets is where you get it.
Damn it.
I want you guys to go there right now. Call to action. Please support this sister's business. Homemade candy. The whole get down. She cold-blooded, man. She is cold-blooded, man. Just please support the sister's business.
Well, you mitigated the damage a little bit by picking up that Kangen water for her, though.
I did pick up the water.
Yeah, yeah.
Bobby said,
yeah.
God damn it, bring some bottles. I brought the bottles, and we brought up some Kangen water.
So she'll be all right.
Everybody gonna be all right. As a matter of fact, you guys enjoy this damn juice. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead. The juice is on me. Hey, enjoy. Come on. Let's see. Very important. I have some things that I need you guys to do right now. First off, I meant to give you guys a picture. April 27th, I'm at Kentucky State University. I'm gonna be suited and booted. Suited and booted, sharp as a tack on Easter Sunday. I'm going to be there teaching a men's conference on manhood.
Well,
now, I've done one of these before up in Sacramento about a month and a half ago, and it was a huge success. A lot of people came out and supported the movement, and that lecture is now available on my app. That's the only place you can get it. Download my app. It's Zoe Williams. It's delicious, yeah?
Oh, my God.
Okay. All right. Zoe Williams, no spaces. Zoe Williams. Download the app. It's what is that? Google Play, iStore, the App Store, whatever. Go there, get it. It's called Mentor Lecture. You could click it. Manhood Lecture. You could click it. Manhood Video. I think something like that in my app. Click it. There's a small fee. Please pay the fee to see the video, right? That's how you keep a brother like Zoe in business, right? And then go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com, and purchase my new book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. This is a heavy hitter. Don't play yourself. Continue to support the movement. I also want you to support Bobby Glanton Smith. Uncle Bobby! This man is for real. Y'all don't understand. This is a manual for manhood.
Except when he's talking about Kobe.
Hold on. No.
Man, why you want to bring up police?
Okay, my
informers,
bad,
man?
Bobby. All right.
Continue to support Bobby.
My bad.
Now, I want you to also support my brother Kevin Behringer, because I kicked his ass
Look,
Friday.
man, that is a wee bit of an exaggeration.
I didn't kick your ass?
No. You got a couple of good kicks in.
I didn't fuck you up with them kicks? He's a trainer. He got the pad out. Like, kick me hard. I kicked his ass.
You got some good kicks in. The sun shines on the dog's ass some days.
Oh, that's what it was? Oh, that's what it was? You ain't gonna talk about my hands?
Hey, look here.
What about my hands?
Hey, you could have brought the candy. I would have gave you some props. But
you
forgot the candy. But yeah, if you guys want some training, online training, or if you're in the LA area, if you want to do it one-on-one, just go to my website, 3bbootcamp.com. That's the number 3, B as in boy, bootcamp, /BBB online. Or if you want some health coaching, just hit me up there. Or just give me a call, 310-435-3820, and I'll get back to you.
And we're getting ready to dispatch him to the next Trump rally.
You're gonna whoop some ass. Exactly. No, but seriously, continue to support all of these businesses. I didn't promote as many businesses as I normally do, because we really needed to get a push on the businesses that are struggling the most. Bobby, we gotta help Bobby. This is my uncle, not real uncle, but uncle enough to get supported out here. Please support Bobby Glanton. And please continue to support this work, the Relationship Dismount. Peter,
Yes, sir.
I know you got something to promote.
Oh man, I got a sea of things to promote.
Let's do it.
Not as much for sale though, so that's one of my positives. I got a lot of free media out there.
Send
so
people
pretty
over
much-
there, man.
Oh yeah, well, let's see here. Well, first of all, I got Zeitgeist Day, the 8th annual. It's in Athens, Greece, but there are myriad events that happen all over the world. It's a pro-sustainability conference.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one here in LA. It's going to be on March 26th. There's also, again, the one in Greece and about a couple dozen more across the country and the world. So that'll be fun. So if anyone's in Europe and they want to come to Greece to the main event, there's still some tickets available. And if anyone wants to come to the LA event, there's still some tickets available as well. They can go to thezeitgeistmovement.com or zdayglobal.org and find that stuff.
When is the
And
LA?
for people who struggle with the word zeitgeist like Bobby did, how you spell it?
Well, it's the reverse of what you're taught in English class. So it's Zeitgeist.
Right.
So it's the opposite of what you think it is.
And for
Right.
people who think it's devil
Right.
worship, what does the word zeitgeist mean? 'Cause, I mean, shit, you got a lot of spooks out here that's
Well,
scared.
what's
Like,
strange. It means ghost time in manual translation, but it's the spirit of the time. It's about
The spirit of the
it's
time,
the
yeah.
intellectual culture of our time. So it
When is
embodies
the LA
everything.
date? The LA date?
26th.
26.
Yeah.
And where is that going to be at?
That is going to be at the Veterans Center in Culver City.
Oh,
That's not the main event. The main event's in Athens, Greece. This will be a smaller event. We basically mirror this thing. It's based on a chapter structure that we've seen in historic civil rights movements. So that's basically what this is, except it's global. So that's what it's about.
Nice.
But I also have cultureandecline.com. That's my web series. That's on hiatus right
man,
now.
you got to see that.
Also zeitgeistmovie.com. That's the whole Zeitgeist trilogy. That's there. And then I got my new film coming out, hopefully at the end of the year, called Inner Reflections, innerreflections.com. Interreflections, that's the way it sounds. So I got a whole bunch of stuff. So.
Right. And let me just say again, spooks can come in any color, because you know the people who listen are very linear in the way they listen. So spooks can be any color, any race. So don't think I'm talking about just black folk. You know how our people do. Jesus. Oh, this shit is going to be crazy today. I can't tell you how much it's going to be crazy. Listen, really quickly, don't forget to download that app. Get the manhood mentorship video, the relationship dismount, real men don't play, we juice, body books,
Health coaching.
health coaching, the whole nine. Listen, we got to go, but when we come back, today's topic is nuts. We'll be back at 2.2 on T Radio V. That's Radio and TV. The Zoe What Morning Show. We'll be back at 2.2. Holla!
Hey man, you know a way for this cats to make some money really quick?
Don't sleep, stop, don't stop, don't stop. Keep it, keep it, yeah. From the ghetto to the club, club to the cars.
Evolution is revolution.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Kyle Mass, and you're checking out T Radio V.
T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Hello, T Radio V. Love you guys. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Hi kids, Billy and Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
I'm Zoe Williams.
And I'm Dr. Mark Goulston. I'm Jeff Brown.
And we make up the Zoe What Morning Show. You can find us here on TRadiov.com every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I make you think.
He makes you laugh, and if I get a chance, I'll help you change.
Or make you cry with his attempts at humor.
Radio in TV.
Can you relate? We'll make it happen.
Look at you. What you doing?
Were you mumbling to yourself?
Hey, back there mumbling.
To them. To them.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Kyle Mass, and you're checking out T Radio V.
T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Hello, T Radio V. Love you guys. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Hi, I'm Plastic Martyr, and I've got a new show called Just Like You on T Radio V. It's an inside look into my Hollywood life where I give you a sneak peek into a world of beauty, fashion, and fame. Illusions will be shattered. And of course, there's a little sex, hugs, and rock and roll. Be sure to check it out Wednesdays at 11, only on T Radio V.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
To go up against the trite, miserable logic and narrow subject matter typical of our rigged debates?
But for the nurse, the teacher, the police officer who, frankly, at the end of each month, they've got a little financial crisis going on. They're having to take out extra debt just to make their mortgage payments. We haven't been paying attention to them. And if you look at our tax policies, it's a classic example.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. President, but I couldn't agree more. However, don't you feel that the tax policies and other common acknowledgments about what is hurting the average American is actually quite benign when compared to the very foundation of our economic system? You know, making money out of debt, charging interest on it that doesn't exist, which means that there is always more outstanding debt than there is money to pay for it. Of course, that lends itself to more debt being created to cover it, and essentially failure and bankruptcy is inevitable. Not for the upper classes as much as the lower middle classes, of course. Why? Because the lower classes are the ones taking the loans for their home and their car, while the upper class are actually making interest income. Rather than paying interest, they actually make interest through their deposits and investments. Obviously, this secures a massive growing class divide structurally. Is that not something worth considering? No? Oh, and as a final point about the CPD, our corporations can now directly donate to them, hence the parties, imposing our financial influence and hence agenda even more, making another end run around that pesky legal legislation barring corporations from contributing directly to political campaigns. A beautiful end run. However, nothing's perfect, and you can't be too careful, and sometimes good old-fashioned, time-tested tactics are needed, and nothing is as old-fashioned as good old direct electoral fraud. So let's get some of our corporate buddies to build some voting machines with really terrible integrity and get them in as many critical spots as we can. Yeah, I know it's sloppy. It has already become public that the machines can be hacked remotely with about $10 in materials and an 8th grade science education. But since most Americans are completely distracted by their debt, lowering standard of living, and ongoing job losses, the liberal media falls on deaf ears. So, let's recap. Free-thinking people tend to recognize the need for ongoing adaptation and change. So we need to make sure education supports the existing tradition through mere rote learning, not critical, logical thought. Next, we establish clear limits of debate in the culture and make sure those who go beyond the pale are shut down by endless ridicule and debasement. Then we need to harness the herd psychology and guide it through our media to either identify with the issues we need in the forefront or distract them outright. As far as large-scale influence, we need to have the freedom to do whatever we want and to use our vast corporate wealth to influence both public opinion and the candidates themselves. Our legal status as a corporate person now ensures our free speech and hence free spending. Next, we create the public illusion of competition and choice and gain as much control over the election process as possible. Our demo public in pawns, with our endless sponsorship and lobbying, now handles this well, including the restriction of public debate and the denial of all interfering third parties. And if that wasn't enough, screw it. We'll just reorder the ballot counts ourselves with the black box voting hacks in the most influential electoral states. So it goes.
Man, oh Manischewitz, the Zola Morning Show is about to be off the rails. Today's topic, and I think it's important that we have this kind of discussion, especially in light of what's going on. See, we're a reactive culture. We're not a responsive culture. And the reason why we're so reactive is because we're conditioned with a certain kind of mindset, right? So the Trump supporters react a certain way because they're conditioned a certain way. And then the anti-Trump supporters react a certain way because we're conditioned. This show is designed to give you a look behind the Wizard of Oz's curtain so you can see what's really going on so you can make informed choices, right? Because we've been playing this lesser of two evils kind of game for a long time in America. And now it's time to be informed. This is why we're having today's topic. Today's topic, post-scarcity society and the new civil rights movement. A lot of people don't even know that a new civil rights movement is happening. Jesus. A deeper look into the scientific dumbing down of the masses with special guest, world-renowned filmmaker of the Zeitgeist films, social activist, author, Peter Joseph is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Bravo, bravo, yeah. Bravo.
You saw the clip?
Thank you, thank you.
That was a clip from a 6-episode series that he has so far called
Culture in Decline.
Culture in Decline. I got questions. Shit, man, I got questions. What the fuck is a post-scarcity society? We got to go deeper into that. We need to know what it is.
Okay.
Talk to us about it right now.
At the root of the new civil rights movement is a move towards a post-scarcity society. And what that means is the elimination as much as possible of all forms of scarcity and the creation of socioeconomic equality. Now, that doesn't mean post-scarcity in the sense of utopia, that you have everything you ever want. You know, those two words put together sounds utopian.
Right.
It means designing an economy that ensures that we're actually producing as much as we can, as efficiently as we can to meet all human needs. And that's diametrically opposed to what we have today. Our society is based on growth, and it's based on consumerism. In fact, if people didn't just consistently buy and consume, the entire economy would collapse. So it's a materialistic vanity consumption society. It's an infinite growth society. You hear about that. The politicians are like, hey, we need more growth. Every politician in the presidential elections, that's all they say. Well, I know how to create jobs. I know how to create growth. That's completely destructive. In the system level, that stuff is just using up more resources and wasting more energy. And it's frivolous, too. Well, most of the jobs we have today aren't necessary. We have technology moving in that's more efficient,
right,
more time-consuming, safer, people not needing to have to risk their lives for a lot of these really raw jobs that are still available. But we continue to need this because that's the way the system is built.
Right.
So it's a complete reversal of the way our economic system is working.
I mean, even nature takes a break. It's called winter, right? So just look at the concept of growth must happen every year, or it's a failure. So if you look at the average corporation who made $7 billion last year, if they drop to $4 billion, heads are gonna. We're $3 billion in the. No, you're not in the hole. You still made $4 billion, but heads are gonna roll because that's the mentality of perpetual growth, and that's just impossible. Nothing in nature does that.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
no.
You look like you wanted to say something.
Well, no, I was listening. I was just basically listening to him because I've, studied the Zeitgeist videos for a long time now, and as far as the world, you are creating a society where things aren't needed anymore. Things are, or what he was saying as far as scarcity is being gone. For me. I just lost my train of thought.
It sounded like that's what it sounded like.
It did. I had it right there. Yeah, come back to me. Come back to me in a second.
This motherfucker right here. We got to get him some ginkgo biloba. Bobby, clean this shit up for Kevin.
First of all, this is really a special show because we oftentimes look at things from a prism that we're comfortable in, and to have you come in here with this refreshing perspective on the same issues that we deal with from a different angle, it's exciting. Now, something that I saw on the screen I want to ask you about, when you say invent, relevance, irrelevance, kind of just explain what you mean by that.
Well, that clip, as I'm sure you knew, as I'm sure you noticed, was a satire. So it was about the control.
At first I didn't know.
So yeah, well, it was kind of cut in. Yeah. But basically, being the satire that it is, it's about it's about how we would, if we were an elitist clique and we wanted to control society, if we were the upper 1%, if you will, how would we do it as far as rigging democracy? That's what it was about. And of course, limits of debate. Now, when you look at these presidential debates, they talk about a very rigid set of things. They never extend far beyond. It's it's always the hot topics, abortion, and things that they're relevant, but they're not half as relevant as of the public health crisis along the world,
or water,
or
the infrastructure,
or pollution, or overconsumption, or resource overshoot, or biodiversity loss that are all eclipsing around 2040 to really cause major problems. They don't talk about there's no global consciousness. It's all too nationalistic, and it's all too specific to, again, these limits of debate that you just pointed out. So they frame it, they throw it to the public, the media gets behind it, and suddenly everyone just talks about the same crap, and everyone ignores real problems.
The other side of that, real quickly, the duality of choice or the lack thereof. What are you really saying there?
Yes.
The reality of choice or lack thereof. Oh, that was being you're referring to what was on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're having to go back and think about what I said with respect to.
I do that a lot.
The reality of choice, the illusion of choice. Yeah. I'm sorry. The illusion of choice being naturally the two-party system, first of all. Everyone, and it gets perpetuated. Like everyone says, well, Bernie Sanders, there are a lot of people in support of him. I think it's good. It's a really unique turn in contrast to Trump. And people say, well, Bernie, I hope he doesn't run third party because then we know he's not going to win. So you see that it's rigged. That the entire thing is set up with a two-party structure, and hence anyone that deviates, they'll just say, oh, well, if Bernie runs, that means Trump will definitely win. And all my friends are like, well, I can't vote for Bernie if he goes independent because, we know that we're just going to divide the ticket in the Democrats, and then Trump, unfortunately, will win. So that's an example of that.
This shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. Like, I'm blown away right now because it's such a game. It's such a movie. Right?
It's a reality show, and Trump makes it perfect. He's the ultimate troll for the entire system.
He's a political troll.
Yeah.
What did you have to say, Kev? And then my man, Hassan.
I was just going on his off it being the illusion of choice through the two-party system, and how most people, or what they think democracy, meaning that the people or the sovereignty is within the people.
Right.
And the fact that even in the Constitution, the word democracy is not mentioned at all. And so what we truly have is what's called an ochlocracy, which is mob rule. And so that goes back to the term mobile vulgus, which means the fickle crowd. And so,
oh shit!
And
Don't
so
do that. Don't do that.
And so if you
don't do that, slow down, pimp. they got to swallow that slowly. Go ahead, man.
Well, it's basically they gave the illusion to the dumb, or the fickle crowd just meant the dumb masses of people who had no education. So they gave them the illusion that they had choice. And so, you know, like Caesar, like there's a show that came on HBO called Rome, and there was elections going on. And so what Caesar had to do, he went and made the people, just the average, the slave people and the average plebiscites were the lower class people. He made them think that he was on his side, not that he actually they had any power, but the fact that if he had all of them behind him, he seemed like he had more power to the nobles, to the aristocrats.
Right.
And so he went to them and said and told them, "Oh yeah, I need your help. I need you," and this and that. And he got all the people behind him, and they used to give these notices in the middle of the street, telling the people how they were on their side. And so this is the same thing that they're doing today. People have no power whatsoever. Like if you look in the Black's Law Dictionary, voting and electing are two different things. And it says under the terms, it says those who are voting are not actually electing. It literally says that.
Interesting.
So that goes to the illusion of choice.
Excellent.
Wow, Hassan.
But it's funny how people are going for Donald Trump, and it's like I just can't understand how dumb people are. You know, it's just like there's so many dumb Americans out here.
It is.
And it
But that's
doesn't
how
really
it's
make sense.
designed. Yeah. That's how it's designed.
But you can see it though.
But that's
you can see it.
But
listen,
Trump knows that.
That's how it's designed. You said something in one of your videos that I thought was just fucking genius, and that is economic classism, right? When we start talking about economic class, first off, classism, and I said this before, I think during on Periscope before the show, I said, you know how astronomy is the science and astrology is the religion?
Yes. Right.
Classism is the science and racism is the religion.
Right, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So people don't understand, when you get with racism, you get dogmatic. And this is the same shit that Trump is counting on.
Yeah,
sure.
He said it before. He said, if I ever run for president, I'm going to run Republican because they're dumb. He said that. And all I have to do is cater to their stupid beliefs, and here we go.
But he don't say shit. All he says, we're going to win this. We're going to do I mean,
he doesn't have to.
He don't say a motherfucking
thing. When you talking to stupid people,
that's what I mean.
You don't need no details.
He knows they're stupid, so he's not gonna fucking waste his words with some big ass fucking concepts. We're gonna win more. We're gonna do this more. We're gonna do that more. and that's
we're gonna build a wall.
Yeah, we're gonna build a wall. They're gonna pay for it.
What's the difference between what he is doing and when Hillary Clinton gets in front of a Negro church population?
How about it?
God is good.
I bet not ever see.
You know,
I bet not ever see.
Get out of here with
Hillary Clinton do the dab again. Hillary Clinton out here in the streets dabbing.
No, she not.
She out here dabbing.
What? Because that's all it takes from us, man.
That's all it takes. And again, there's this gender thing that Hillary got in her back pocket because women tend to fuck with women.
Yep.
Science has already proven that they're bisexual already. I'm just coming out here. Fuck it. I'm throwing the sink out here. Veronica, are you gonna vote? Are you gonna vote for Hillary because she shares a womb?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Speak on it, VC. Welcome to the show, baby girl.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'm a big fan of Peter. I'm a big fan of the movie Zeitgeist, so it's really an honor to rock the mic alongside Mr. Joseph. I'm going to say a couple of things. One of the things to speak to this whole Trump phenomenon, there was a guy that wrote a book, Jonathan Wheeler, and what he said about the Trump crew, because they actually asked a series of questions that were not political questions to Trump supporters, but that were parenting questions. Because what you can determine from how people respond to this set of questions around parenting, you can determine whether or not they are authoritarian. And he said that the Trump supporters were authoritarian, and their authoritarianism trumped race and class, right? Their predisposition, and it includes race and class stuff, but they're authoritarian. The other thing that I want to say about this whole money system, to Mr. Joseph's point, is the way I think about this whole economy is a huge extraction of energy. So if you think about how much life force people put into getting up, going to work, having a job, paying the bills, and you think about how much life force has to be extracted from the masses for Bill Gates to be worth $79 billion. That $79 billion represents the extraction of human life force that could be freed up to engage in creative acts that would further the planet, but they're tied up in this game feeding his pocketbook.
Yep. I couldn't agree more, obviously.
There's one thing I want you to cover, right? Because friend of mine, Jeff Schimmel, right? Good friend of mine, put me on this Dash Radio thing, right? Dash Radio is this big radio station right around the corner, right? He came on. We did a show about Valentine's Day, and this has to do with obsolescence. He did a show about Valentine's Day, and he said it's all a farce. The diamond is intrinsically worthless. He said some motherfuckers in the De Beers family said, hey, let's make this shit mean something. Africans have been walking past diamonds for years, for millennia. Like, I don't give a fuck what that is. But when somebody said this is going to mean something to marriage, romanticism, relationships, and then we're going to make it exclusive, but really it's worth nothing. Right?
Diamonds are forever, remember?
Right.
One of the greatest marketing scams ever put forward.
Gosh. When I look at people, I swear it's the Matrix. I swear it's ones and zeros. It's social binary code, right?
Sure.
And you get ostracized as fucking crazy or weirdo or conspiracy theorist, which is the new N-word for me.
Sure.
Right, oh, something wrong with you. You got outside the box ideas. What's wrong with you? Yeah. For me, we've become complacent with this concept of obsolescence too, and almost oblivious to it. How do you get meaning from something that is designed to fail? Yeah. Speak on that.
There's two things that have manifest in cultural activity based on what the market requires, what capitalism requires to work, and that's consumerism. It means that you have to have people that always want. Ideally, you want infinite wants. That's how you keep the economy going. And then you want stuff to break down as fast as possible. And so industry, you can go to the old design textbooks back in the early 20th century, amazingly enough, and they literally will tell you planned obsolescence. Yeah. It's complete fraud. I mean, anytime someone discovers something in an iPhone or the like, they should be able to sue. Just completely. They should have a class action lawsuit with all the customers because of the planned obsolescence built into these things. They don't because it's so commonplace. Right. And technology is different because it moves so quickly. But no one's trying to make modular things or update things. It's just waste. I mean, you've seen the piles of electronic waste.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And all those important minerals that were killing people in Africa to extract, it gets thrown in a landfill eventually. None of it gets recycled because it's not intended to be because that's too expensive.
Yeah.
So,
They made being a fucking social hamster cool.
Pretty much.
Just keep running around in circles. Listen, we gotta take a quick break. The Zoa Morning Show is on fire. God damn it. We talking about all the bullshit you believe in. It's gonna be crazy. We're taking a quick break. Zoa Morning Show on T Radio V. That's radio in TV. Post-scarcity society and the new.
Back in the Illidale. All she knew how to do was go for self. She lived on the main streets.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
I'm Laura Samoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., TRadioV.com.
T Radio V.
That's right. It's T Radio V, radio in TV. What is that face?
She wants to see our hands.
That's radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Hi kids, Billy and Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific Time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Slow down. I mean, slow down. I mean, slow down. Why you rather be a diamond in the rough?
Yo! The Zoa Morning Show back in the building, man. We having a very deep conversation. Is America's educational system designed to create debt slaves? Are American universities handing out degrees in quotology instead of degrees in critical thinking? Jesus, quotology.
Quotology.
The fuck is quotology?
Memory regurgitation.
Memory regurgitation? Yeah. I'm just saying, so many people have so much faith in a dogma because dogmas are comfortable. When you live in a society that is in flux, when you live in a world or a reality that's in flux, you tend to hold on to shit that looks stable.
Yeah.
And even if the shit is flawed, right? Flaws and all, this shit is stable. It's
gonna be here.
It's gonna be here, right? Even if my bullshit belief is limiting, it's comfortable. That's why, man, I don't want to go any further right now. What I want to do is make sure that Veronica Conway is still on with us. VC, you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Great, 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 great. So let me come back. Peter,
Yes, sir.
Bobby, Kevin, there's some basic things we need to understand. What is the purpose of an education?
Me first? Critical
You first.
thought. Critical thought, of course. You got to learn how to think. Got to learn how to rationalize. You got to learn how to weigh variables, not to be biased. You know, our brains interfere. We got all sorts of unique deterministic biological things. We get caught up in mob appeal. You know, that's how you, again, going back to the democracy idea, if you get the news to run stuff that says this is the candidate that's winning, we have a natural propensity, just like on the floor of a game, that we want to go with the winner. We just want to do that. It's been studied. It's our nervous system reacts that way. So we got to know ourselves, too. We got to know our own flaws. So none of that's taught. No, they teach a business culture in school. You grow up with the hierarchy, you grow up with the authority, and you grow up with the rote learning that doesn't really teach you anything but how to run the machines, do the paperwork.
Cog in the machine.
Yeah. Wow. Kev?
What was the question?
The purpose of education?
Purpose of education.
And especially in America.
The actual purpose of education, or what I think?
What? Both.
Well, as he was saying, is just to throw you or the dumb masses right into the machine, so it just keeps working without a fail. But true education is supposed to be able to free you from. No.
We don't free niggas here.
Oh, my bad. Did I say a bad word?
Yeah, freedom is
take the lock off your brain.
Freedom is evil. Freedom is evil. Okay. Remember who you're talking to. Freedom is evil.
Slavery is good.
Right. Right. We got to make slavery as comfortable as possible.
Be a slave, and
as comfortable and as unconscious as possible.
Absolutely.
Continue. Don't ever mention freedom on this show again, okay?
My bad.
All right.
My bad, brother. But to me, they basically educate you enough to be able to sign your name on these contracts to sign your sovereignty or your soul away to the corporation. That's really
what? Contracts?
Yes.
What the fuck
driver's licenses, social security cards, anything pretty much that you sign your name to is a contract. And if you understand, you study contractual law, There's something called an autograph and a signature. Anything that's a signature is put on a contract. Just because you signing something doesn't necessarily mean it's a signature. It can be just your autograph. That's just your way you write your name.
And you about to piss me off right now.
But when he says
I've been
sign,
signing shit for years.
Yeah, and if you didn't put all rights reserved next to it, then you fucked.
What does that mean?
It means you reserve your rights in contract to remedy or to void the contract if you don't agree with the contract or if they.
Okay, hold on, pimp. Now this shit done got deep. I get a ticket. And this motherfucker asked me to sign, and he goes, hey, you're only signing, you're not admitting any guilt. You're just signing saying you're going to show up in court. And I sign my name and then put all rights reserved. What the fuck is the po-po going to do then?
Now, when you sign a ticket is not a ticket. It's a notice to appear. Now, in law, the word appear means to coming into court to submit yourself to the jurisdiction of the court. So once you sign that ticket, you've already given over your jurisdiction to the court unless you reserve your rights to say otherwise.
You know police don't know no law. He going to be like, what the fuck you do? Sure. You going to jail, especially if you's a nigga.
No, I've done it. And
you going to jail. You going to jail.
What they'll usually say is sign it the way it is on your ID or your driver's license, which is why when you go to the DMV and you sign that little computer thing, put all rights reserved next to it. It'll show up right on your driver's license or ID. I have it right on mine.
So if you sign all rights reserved and then you don't show up, they can't do nothing?
If you sign all rights, no. Oh, absolutely not. You need to know much more. All that does
they'll be right at your house, like.
Yeah. All that does is open the door to say that I am not within your jurisdiction. Now it's up to you to show them or to challenge their jurisdiction. And then once they can't prove that they have jurisdiction over your person, then it can be null and void, or it can be quashed.
This feels like jail, Bobby.
Not jail. done it myself personally.
You know, in my estimation, education is the gateway to mastery. And when I say mastery, it can mean whatever it is that you aspire to do with your own life. It should be constructed around the education that will allow you to go the furthest, the fastest, and the most efficient. And one thing that Peter said in the original tape he put up there, ignorance works. So when you start talking about education and ignorance, it gets really interesting because there's more educated fools out there than there are people who actually know what they have learned and how to apply it in their everyday life. You know?
Wow.
It's just such a huge gap between what you learn and what you do. That is unbelievable.
Most of the educated people I know are the dumbest. They don't have any
stupidest people you've ever met.
No common sense.
The word is indoctrination. That's what happens to the system. I'm a critic of academia to a degree because if you go through that whole Harvard kind of thing, especially if you're in a fairly malleable field like economics, you're just basically being indoctrinated into a particular worldview, and that's what you defend generally when you get your jobs and everything else, and it just becomes a self-repeating cycle. So yeah, I agree entirely.
Veronica Conway?
Yeah, I mean, I would say education. I think real education is about training people into divergent comprehensive training. I mean, I did put my kids in very elite private schools because I didn't want the 1% to be a mystery to them. Right, and I wanted them to get in their education process critical thinking skills. But I think one of the things you have to do as a layer to that is you have to teach kids to know themselves.
There you go.
Because you have to know yourself deeply to be able to navigate this stuff as you out here. In other words, if you're not going to navigate this life as somebody else, with somebody else's story, indoctrination, whatever the masses are following, then you have to really know yourself deeply, which is a spiritual thing. And the other thing that I want to piggyback on what Kevin said is that same signature that he's talking about that you use to, give up your rights under the law. It's the same signature that you use to create the entire debt system. The whole debt system is created with your signature.
Wow.
Because we're discharging debt right now in this class that I'm doing with Ron. That same signature is used to create the entire debt system.
All money is created out of debt. All money is created out of contracts on some level. You're right.
So now that we're on the money side of things, because I keep telling people, Krishnamurti, my favorite philosopher, you used him in the beginning of Zeitgeist Part 2, Addendum, and a lot of people's like, oh shit, well, who is that guy talking, right? Krishnamurti said, it is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. Sure. So when I see motherfuckers looking at me and judging me because I had one woman I was dating, her mama said, oh, he's off the grid. just by the way I think, he's off the grid, and it was a negative. Like, he too far off the grid. When I see people nestled like a bed bug into the grid, I see them as somewhat kind of crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Right? Because, I mean, just think about what's happening. The DSM, right? The fucking crazy Bible, right? DSM is the King James version of mental illness, right? And the reason why I say it's the King James version because it's subject to interpretation. In the 70s, homosexuality was in there. Homosexuals got together and lobbied. Shit came up out of there, right? Now today, narcissism is up out of there because they see it as a pervasive disease. So when you look at America and the way American society works, do you guys remember that fucking that documentary about the corporation? Yes. The corporation as a person.
The movie,
it's the movie called The Corporation, and they were breaking down the checklist.
Yes.
Of crazy, like this is a psychopath. The corporation, in and of itself, is a psychopath.
Yeah, a psych evaluation.
So when we start looking at the CEOs who run the world, most of them come out as fucking psychopaths, just by the way they have to be in order to be number one in whatever field they're in. Right. So when I see people who are fucking nestled into the norm that a sick society establishes, I see them as crazy to a certain degree. Like, you calling me crazy. I'm looking at you, and you don't even see it coming. Like, most people are so entrenched in the game, they don't see the people shifting away from the game that they're currently playing. Yeah. Like, the dollar falling is out there, right? And it's always been out there, but now it's really out there. And you got, especially in our community, when you look at the brothers killing brothers, there was a gangland murder. Gangland, what was it? Execution-style murder in Chicago. Yeah. Got to be for money. Y'all see the little boy who got killed, the 9-year-old little boy who got killed, and then the dude who killed him because he was trying to get at his dad. Yeah. And then he came out and said, we had plans to torture the kid. Got to be for money. And this is, I always say, we're playing a game that has real consequences.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got work to do.
That's good.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah. Did you see the movie The Big Short?
Not yet, no.
I thought you might have, because some of the things that at the core of who you are reflected in that movie. I guess the question I wanted to ask you is, how is it that ignorance works in this way? People have lost perception of value to the extent where they will pay $500,000 for a house that was originally built for $2,500. How did we get there? No, seriously.
Right.
We went there in my lifetime. You know, houses were like $5,000. It's the same house, literally the same house, and that is worth $500,000. How do we get there, and what corrosive effect has that had on society?
Well, appreciation and depreciation is definitely fraudulent. You know, look at a car, you buy a car, and you drive it off the lot, it's worth half the value.
Right.
Like, what? How is that possible?
But you're still on the hook. You're still on the hook for the whole amount.
I mean, literally.
Utterly detached from reality, by all means. Yeah. How do we get there? Because that's what the system demands. I always refer to the system. That's my big thing. I'm what you call a structuralist. Gandhi was a structuralist. He said, don't blame the individual for their crimes. Look at the structure that motivated them to do it. And once you do that, you have you take in the whole of society. You have to account for everything at that point. And the system of market economics, it demands certain things, and the appreciation of value for resale and profit. This has become the ethic for years and years and years. So, people will do whatever they can to manipulate things, to get whatever they can, to extract whatever wealth they can out of resale, and that's pretty much all it is. That's how we've gotten there. It's just this bad, distorted ethic of what you call surplus exploitation. If you want to use Marxist terms. Which
We're going through it in L.A. right now. after coming out of the crash of the real estate crash of 07, here we are at 16.
It's a bigger bubble. It's a bigger crash.
We're right back there, man. And wages have remained the same or have decreased.
Therein lies the social oppression. I mean, it's all about labor exploitation. Globalization is labor exploitation. Slavery was labor exploitation. At the root of all of this is exploitation of people and their value to be used for the wealth and benefit of others. And that's why I don't like our monetary market. I don't like any of it. I don't like any kind of economics that deals with trade. That's a radical thing to say because we're specialized, but in an advanced society, which we could have now because we have amazing technology and scientific ingenuity, we don't need to trade. We could set up systems that enable us to interact democratically, a true democratic economy, participatory economics. We're on the precipice of it right now and going to post-scarcity once again, but we're not. We're being bombarded by this old, ancient oppression, social dominance system, which is ultimately classism, which is the bedrock of all racism and human bigotry, xenophobia. Trump is like the best emblem of that right now. Timely because he hates everyone that's outside of America. Right. Wow. That's like the ancient xenophobia. That's what started all this. And it builds through culture. And now, we're still on that path, unfortunately. It's all based around economic deprivation and exploitation.
Yeah. And I think one of my angles here is it's not America anymore. America literally was a dream. When you talk about elites, the elites' plan, I want to go there. Illuminati, all that. I want to go there. Their plan was simple. It's not just about one country. It's about the world. It's about world domination. The New World Order.
One world order.
Listen, we see a country as a bottle of juice. And I'm going to drink all this juice until it ain't no more juice. And then I'm going to move on to the next country. These elites are together in that.
Yes.
I'll clarify one thing, though, because in my circles, I got a lot of people that are really angry at upper power. And I always remind them that we're dealing with a system process. We're dealing with normal people that are born and they're birthed into this and they're groomed and they're brought into this elite power structure. And you use the old phrase New World Order, and that's interpreted in such a weird way in the world today. It's completely lost from its original definition. But in your proper context, as you stated it, what you're really dealing with is called capital accumulation. It's the view that we are going to expand, like every corporation wants to expand. You're just going to keep expanding and keep growing and keep dominating because that's pretty much what business is.
And is that any different from the Roman Empire?
Of course not. No, it's all the same.
Or the Byzantine Empire. It's no different.
And my main argument, just to drill this home, because this is the big epoch to me. This is the big grand shift of human civilization, the move to post-scarcity, is that you're finally eliminating those motivations that have been plaguing human society for so long and creating this division and need for oppression by shifting the economic structure to actually want to create abundance and satisfy human needs. Because right now, even if we wanted to, even if we all said, okay, guys, let's get together and let's help charity, let's do whatever we can, let's just start to alleviate whatever we can, we'd be up against the entire system because the system doesn't want that. The system doesn't even work that way. So it doesn't matter what our intentions are. We could have the best intentions in the world. I mean, I don't come down on the high elites like the billionaires in a personal sense. I see them as mentally ill. I mean, you got to be mentally ill to have $1 billion. You got to be mentally ill to drive a Ferrari down the street in a poor neighborhood. You got to that flaunting and wealth signaling and conspicuous consumption. It's all mental illness. And back to your original phrase, my phrase I've used in other interviews is to be normal is to be fucked up.
Hey, we got to take another quick break, but I've been saying this shit for years, and I'm just glad. I'm just refreshed. I am renewed. I'm just saying, in my resolve, because we say this a lot on our show. If America, if Caucasian Americans are ill because of the system, if the system has made them crazy, what the fuck kind of crazy are African Americans who have been conditioned as subject to, as less than.
Right.
The benchmark is be like them. If them motherfuckers is crazy, what version of crazy have we become?
I would argue that aspirations now, they're moving to not want to get rid of what is effectively a slave oppression system that's classism. the move isn't towards that anymore. Now it's the public wants to become the slave owner. That's what's happened now. That's the drive of success, is to be in that position of power.
Is to be the slave master. Oh shit, here we go. Yeah. Listen, I gotta take a quick break. God damn. Kev, Bobby, I know y'all got something. Please write this shit down. When we come back, man, Veronica's there too. Jesus.
So
when we come back, we're gonna do a rant with Bobby. Shit. We'll be back in 2.2 seconds. The country gonna come out. We'll be back in a second.
Oh boy.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
T Radio V.
What did you play opposite Andy, Eric? Do you remember?
Andy and I worked as two employees at a network.
Okay. Oh, you're forgetting the other thing.
I played a news anchor, and he played a reporter.
Okay, but the other thing you did, the thing you did on the Andy Dick show, who did you play to Andy?
Oh, is that when I played my sister?
You played his wife, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played his wife.
Yeah. So what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it.
He's got a great range as an actor.
Yeah, it just was funny.
Encounters with Eric and Eliza Roberts, Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on T Radio V.
Hello, T Radio V.
Hello for us.
Hi, guys. My name is Steve Renazizi.
My name is Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
My name is Katie Aselton.
You're watching TV on the radio, but you're not watching it, you're listening to it, because radio on TV.
Hi, T Radio V.
Keep that radio going inside that television set.
I love T Radio V. Trust her.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Oakley.
And I'm Corey Cool.
And you are watching Geekscape on T Radio V.
Hi, I'm Bob Nalbandian, and be sure to watch my show Inside Metal, which airs live every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on T Radio V. I'm going to be bringing in the greatest heavy metal artists live right here in the studio. Once again, every week at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Tuesday, right here at tradiov.com, radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Is the mic? Oh, okay. I'm up and at 'em. I've been watching these Trump events and got an issue with these people in Black Lives Matter and whatever other camps they're in, attending these functions, ill-prepared for the likelihood that there might be some fisticuffs. So if you're going to go to a Trump rally and you're not a Trump supporter and you can't fight, you might want to think twice about attending that, because it's reached a point now where he's thrown enough rocks and hid his hand, but he done ginned up the audience to the extent where they are acting on that passion and frustration and anger that he has created in the way that he is appealing to the stupidity of the masses. So if you're going to attend one of those events, Call Kevin first. What's your number, Kevin? Get a couple
Get your booty boxing in.
Get your booty boxing on before you put yourself in a position where you get beat down for being in a situation that you shouldn't be in unless you're looking for a fight. Don't go to the Trump rally. I mean, it really doesn't really serve a productive purpose. And we do have to look at who we're going to vote for at the end of the day. And right now, if you're going to vote for somebody, be in a position to hold them accountable before the election. Because all that God is good is not going to take any of the economic pressure off of you that you're frustrated with right now. So if we're going to get behind a candidate, let's get together and make sure that we get in writing from them exactly what they're going to do in exchange for that vote.
Can I say something to that real quick, though?
Every treaty in the world has been broken? Okay, sorry. Go
ahead. On the opposite of that, if you don't want to if you're the type of person who don't like confrontations, that's fine. But on another end, if you do go to one of these Trump rallies, you can really get paid, because if they start something with you and they assault you, don't do anything. Now you have grounds to be able to sue Trump, because Trump has been on camera saying that
that's right.
I will pay for anybody's legal fees who hit somebody at one of my rallies. So now he's on camera taking culpability. Like he's literally saying I'm culpable for the violence at my rallies. So if you get hit, you can sue Trump and get paid. So do it that way.
And here's another angle that we saw during Ferguson. There were plainclothes motherfuckers in Ferguson starting shit.
Mm-hmm.
Plainclothes cops. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't give a fuck. Right?
That's right.
There was plainclothes motherfuckers out there starting shit. So please understand that this is politics. I said this before.
This shit happens.
Is the highest form of entertainment. Politics is really Hollywood. Hollywood is the fantasy side. Politics is the reality TV side. And people don't understand that you're a part of, like, okay, we're going to set the scene. There's directors out there, right? We're going to set the scene. And then the motherfuckers who come in here are going to naturally respond to some shit based off of their belief. Based off of the program we have pre-planted in their mind. They're going to respond this way. All you got to do is say this. Do you understand? Like, this is a real situation.
And then once it goes on TV, it becomes another form of entertainment. And the ratings, they move their cameras and their programming to where the ratings are. And people are like, why is Trump so popular? Because every single media channel has shown Trump every day, nonstop. Even if they don't like him, they're still showing him because he's entertaining. Right. Well, he's certainly entertaining.
That's true. Well, to be famous is the true noble. The word noble goes back to being knowable. That's what the etymology of noble means. And it used to be because the aristocrats were the only people who were able to enter office. And so that was how you were known in ancient times, where you were a member of office. But to be a member of office, you had to be rich. So, you fast forward today, this is why famous people are put on such a pedestal, because they are the new noble people. They're the knowable people.
The new nobility.
New nobility.
Sure. You know what's interesting is just the phrase reality TV is oxymoronic, because if it's real, then why is it scripted? And they bombarded us with reality television for the last 10, 15, 20 years now. And Trump came out of that as one of the forerunners.
Right.
And now he has transformed into a politician, but it's within the
really
construct of
politics
reality
into his reality show. That's what he did.
Right.
I'll be honest. I don't think he has any idea what he's doing. I think he approaches his rallies and he approaches his speeches and debates from an entertainment standpoint. And once someone pulls out guns at his rally, he's finally going to realize what he's created and what he's fomented.
No, he panicked the other day when that guy turned. When the guy rushed the stage, he literally panicked.
Yeah, he did.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this: the greatest change comes through chaos. And please understand, for a government that would create the TTP,
Trans-Pacific Partnership,
right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we don't make the products no more like we did back in World War I, when everybody had to buy our shit, and that's what made us a juggernaut economically. We don't create the shit no more. Everybody else does. Yeah. But in order for us to keep that economic power, we're gonna create some special shit for all other sovereign nations, right? And if you fuck us over, We'll be able to come in and override your sovereignty through the TTP.
Yep.
Listen, the way this government gets down, right? It makes this fantasy space for us to live in, this little bubble. We get to have our fairs and our little corn dogs and, you know, Christmas and all the other bullshit that keeps us distracted, football Friday nights and, you know, things like sports and malls and strip malls and eating and all types of, keeps us over here while the world is being oppressed to maintain our fantasy.
Yeah, pretty much.
People don't understand this.
That's right. That's right. If only people in America knew, because it is a wealthy country, even though there's tremendous poverty and there's super ridiculous problems, but all the wealth of this world has been sucked up by the global north, and specifically America and Europe. 80% of all the goods and services produced in the world are consumed by roughly 20% of the population.
Wow.
And America consumes, I believe, 40% of all the energy of the entire planet. It only has 5% of the population. And it's all a process, a multi-century-long process of colonialism into globalization, extracting wealth from the poor global south, from Africa, from Latin America. These are the most abused, most beautiful, resource-intense places, most abused, destroyed, chaos. The Middle East, of course, fomenting the destruction there. And now you have the refugee crisis of 60 million that's slowly beginning to move around Europe and the U.S. And I see this as hitting just to shift subjects, is hitting a big destabilization point around like 2030, 2040. If you track all these trends, I have this in a book that I just finished. And we're doing okay, you know, but with all the trends that are lining up, not to mention the debt crisis across the world, by 2030, it's predicted by the Standard & Poor's, as reliable as they may be, but their math is accurate in the sense that 60 to 70% of all countries will be bankrupt. Now the U.S. can't go bankrupt, by the way, just so you know. The dollar, as long as we have more, we keep our military might, and we force the dollar down everyone's throat, regardless of its fluctuations, as long as people keep taking it, and they don't try to deviate like Gaddafi tried to do, or like Saddam Hussein tried to do.
But you know what they did? You fucking with the dollar?
Yeah.
No fly zone. Get them motherfuckers.
That's how the U.S. If the U.S. keeps the empire, they could have a $190 trillion debt. It really wouldn't matter. It's just numbers.
Yeah.
They'll just keep shifting stuff around and pretending that even Martin Luther King talked about it. It's socialism for the rich, and it's capitalism and free markets for the poor. Meaning there's market correction for the poor. I mean, like, you can get a small business, you'll go bankrupt, but then the big businesses will be fine because they get bailed out.
They're too big to fail.
And the U.S. government is too big to fail by far.
Wow. Look at this. This shit is crazy.
Now, what will that instability look like 2030, 2040?
I think it's a combination of climate change. Climate stuff is very, very real. I know there's debate about it, but this is very real. I've studied this science for a good 30 years, the research of it. This is going to hit within the next 15 years if nothing's done. There's no one's alleviating any of the carbon emissions out there. There's nothing being done. Even the entire Republican Party doesn't even believe this stuff is real.
Right.
Then you have the debt crisis, which is also growing unabated, even though there will be some exceptions like the big empires. Russia, U.S., and China are exempt from this phenomenon. But Greece and other countries will continue to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And then you have the biodiversity loss. Now, people don't know much about that. It's kind of built in a resource overshoot, which means you're using more resources. Every year around I guess about a sixth through, we use all the resources the planet can produce in 1 year. So we're constantly using more than the planet's producing because of our really inefficient.
Somebody said we need another planet to compensate all of the resources we're taking out of this planet. So it's almost like
many more planets, actually.
Right, 2.5 planets more is what we're taking out of this one.
The Biodiversity Conference said that by 2040, the equivalent of 27 more planets will be needed to match the growth that's happening and the necessities based on current methods, which again comes back to why we have to change the system rapidly.
Agenda 21 comes in there, bam.
So listen, this is what we got to do, because I want to play this video. Thor, open the Bifrost. Thor, play the video. Got to play this video, man. Watch this shit. This evening. Today.
Breaking news. Everything breaking news.
Turn it up.
session at the White House, where he announced that the security focus of his administration will be moving away from the global war on terror, instead focusing all available resources against something the administration has deemed a larger threat to U.S. and international security than anything recognized before: nature itself.
That's right, Dutch. The newly declared war against nature will be usurping funds from the Department of Homeland Security, effectively replacing it with a new department. The Department of, I think I'm reading this right, Fuck the Earth and the Science it rode in on.
That's correct, Summer. The administration has already appointed a head to this new department, the CEO of Monsanto Corporation, Satan himself. When questioned regarding concerns about a possible conflict of interest of the new appointee, the Obama administration responded, "Monsanto's reputation of challenging the vast power of this intolerant, bullying force that goes by the terrorist name natural science holds great potential for our victory. We feel if anyone can take down these insurgent laws which restrict our God-given freedom, it is the professional experience of our true Lord and Master, the Prince of Darkness."
We've just been informed that a press conference is now underway with the Pentagon spokesperson answering questions. We now go live to the White House.
As the president said earlier, the greatest barrier to U.S. interests has been a constant state of offensive interference by this rogue network. Nature has been forcing its will against our freedom for long enough. Our economy, our values, the American way of life, it's not negotiable. Either nature concedes to our interests and stops terrorizing us with its hatred of our liberty, or we will be forced to destroy it. Next question.
Hi, Joe from LA Times. Don't you feel it could be a bad idea to move against a force which has historically never been overcome or even phased by human action? Also, I understand nature has given a set of demands which, if met, would cease many of its counterattacks. Has the administration considered just meeting these demands?
Listen, Joe, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And yeah, I've seen nature's demands, full of queer communist propaganda such as balance and sustainability. It even demands that we shut down our infinite growth consumption economy to make way for something where we are to be slaves to some oppressive natural regeneration respect. Listen, I didn't spend 35 years defending this country to have some metaphysical terrorist group with science on its side ruin what has made this nation great. No further questions.
When we think of war, we usually think about gun-wielding soldiers, tanks, flamethrowers, fancy medal honors, and other theatrics. Yet, when we step outside the theater, digging deeper in our examination of the world around us, we find that war is actually a state of mind, a reaction, driven by some type of competitive condition. And if we had to classify the different levels of large-scale competition, we might end up with two broad categories: imperial war and class war. Imperial war, otherwise known as national war, is when an aggressor nation decides to invade some other nation, justified by some form of perceived threat. Back in the day, this threat often appeared as purely ideological, with religious groups battling it out to make sure they were in good with God. While in the mildly more literate scientific world today, the threat is more often than not pitched as direct to each of us. You know, such as, say, a rogue nation getting a nuclear weapon to blow up your grandmother's bingo tournament. Bingo. Or perhaps a crazed, state-funded hijacker crashing a plane into your favorite taco stand. Bastards. Regardless, in virtually every historical case, the justification for war put forward for public digestion has, always, been far from the truth. You see, there is indeed always a true threat, but that threat has little to do with the vast majority of the population. Instead, it is a threat that bothers only the highest echelons of the social hierarchy. An elitist upper class.
Jeez.
I like that war on nature segment. That was one of my favorite segments.
Tell everybody where they can find that, because there are people who want to watch the whole 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's all free online on YouTube. You can go to cultureanddecline.com and it will link through to each one. It's also on iTunes if you want to get it there, but you got to pay for it there.
I just think it's important, man. Go ahead, Bobby.
That narrative is compelling, and hopefully we can begin to, make that adjustment as we, share information with the public to the point where first you get their attention, and then penetrate that block up there that keeps people from understanding the consequences of the information that you're disseminating.
Right.
It's really important. I like the way that you framed that, because a lot of people don't understand that nature is either our friend or our foe, and nature's undefeated. And will remain so.
Right. Nature's like time.
Floyd Mayweather, baby.
We just had the strangest winter that I can remember in California, and I've been out here 30 years now. It's just strange, man. It's strange. And nobody's really speaking on it. And then we're looking at all the tornadoes all through the winter in the South. They got flooding going on right now down in Louisiana that's of unprecedented proportions, and we're not having that discussion in the midst of this very important political year. So the work that you're doing is very important.
Well, thank you. And going back to your question before, which I didn't finish, regarding what this destabilization in the future might look like, because that goes right into that. When you look at the pollution, and going back to the biodiversity issue, because we're over-consuming, we're destroying wildlife. You know, we have this crazy mosquito illness in Latin America. There's a good speculation that
every few years they come with a new sickness.
Well, I don't,
bird flu, swine flu, monkey flu, foot flu, cow flu. Shit just keep coming.
Well, I think there's grounds to be suspicious of a lot of stuff in this world, especially given the power structure still respects what's called a Malthusian worldview. Thomas Malthus, the Reverend, he years ago, a couple centuries ago, said that there's no way you can ever have populations grow past a certain extent because there's resource limits. Now, in a certain sense, you say, well, that's rational, but he was completely wrong. And all he did was energize the political system and said, you know what, we should have some wars and kill people. We should not care about the millions dying of HIV in Africa. We should just let it happen. That's exactly the way I think these people think. And they rationalize it because they think it's not being evil. It's just that's just the way it is.
Right.
But going back to this destabilization, ignoring that idea of it being more deliberate or of an issue of just allowance, true tropical diseases that can take out the world through illness, they're going to be birthed in this hotbed of the poor global south.
Of course.
Because that's where they all, and they have no resources to warrant against it, so it foments and then it moves up. And that's, I think, will be something that could very easily happen as far as destabilization.
Damn.
That's just one of many things, though, because nothing's being done to take care of this stuff.
Veronica?
You want safety in the world, you got to create a loss of poverty.
Yeah. I wanted, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, V. You there?
No, I wanted to ask Peter, so if he's talking about eliminating all forms of scarcity, I'm just trying to wrap my head around, sort of a brand new economy, for lack of a better word, that's sort of based on eliminating all forms of scarcity. How does that play out practically? I'm just really curious as to what that vision looks like.
Well, let's to be clear, it's not eliminating all forms of scarcity, because that's impossible. Even the sun is scarce. It will eventually burn out a couple billion years. So it's about adjusting society towards wanting to seek post-scarcity, which means it's the most efficient way of organizing economic unfolding that you can come up with, which we don't do because our economy is based many centuries prior, very, very old ideas and unfolding, very wasteful, in other words. So we're so inefficient and so wasteful that we're creating immense amounts of scarcity artificially. Not to mention that the capitalist structure is fundamentally hierarchical. Poverty isn't a natural reality on the planet. It's literally built into the structure. Poverty is a man-made negative externality, they call it in traditional economics. I use that word in that context because it really is a negative externality, just like pollution is, like industrial pollution. Poverty just exists because that's what the system produces.
It's designed that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Design it evolved that way, I'd say. It's less designed and evolved. This is a natural thing that's happened since the Neolithic Revolution about 10,000 years ago, which basically said we have a scarce world, we're going to compete and fight and kill each other, and that's just the way it is.
Right.
And then Darwin came along and said, you know what, it's survival of the fittest,
Survival
guys.
of
Just
the
go out
fittest.
there, even though that was a bastardization of his true intent. He didn't actually mean it that way. People can collaborate for survival of the fittest just as much as they can compete. It depends on the social condition. But to answer your question, it means you start to shift things away from the current model. So for labor for income, you get rid of that, you go straight to automation. I don't mean a fantasy utopia where you just automate everything. You make it a deliberate, incentivized thing to not have people needing to work for a living. And what that does is two things. It creates a foundation, because you have to bring in universal basic income, something we could do. Instantly eliminate poverty, like MLK wanted to do decades ago with his poverty movement before he was killed. And then you are maximizing the efficiency produced by technology. If anybody here is not familiar with technological unemployment and the power of automation today, it's absolutely phenomenal what we could be doing if we weren't held back by the system that requires labor for income.
Right.
We're talking the production of mass abundance with mass efficiency. aligning with nature, maximizing every single inch of that economic efficiency. No more obsolescence, no more waste. You create a circular economy, you create a shared economy, you create a peer-to-peer economy, which means that it's all open source. There's all sorts of stuff I could ramble on about. So if you want to read more about it, they can go to the zeitgeistmovement.com, or they can read our free book, which is about 300 pages. It has a whole massive section on economic calculation and post-scarcity potentials. Here's another example, just to continue to answer your question, because it's a long answer.
Go ahead.
You start to socialize. I'm using that word loosely, meaning that you use funds, or you use resources and design to start to create systems to provide things for people for free. Vertical farm systems, you've heard of these things, right?
Yeah.
They can create immense amounts of vegetative, of nutrition, complete spectrum if that's done right, as far as there's no meat there, but this is about solving poverty first and foremost and relieving scarcity. You build these things across the coastlines, you desalinate into them, you can energize them largely through solar power, and if you were to today, and I did this statistic in the book, replace all the existing agricultural land in the world with vertical farms that were about 10 stories high, you could feed, theoretically, using that land, 34 trillion people.
Then wait a minute.
Every year. Now, that's a theoretical.
And let me just say.
Sure.
Then you kill the 1%'s ego. If you do that, it's almost like neutering or spading the 1%. You cut their nuts off because their ego is,
You need us for
I'm elite.
Yeah, yeah.
You ain't shit.
You need us for
You're
everything.
my definition of what I don't want to be. I'm rich, wealthy, living well. You need that opposite. Look at these fucked up motherfuckers. What are those? Look at your life. The rich people need to see fucked up people, and then need to be able to say, here's some cheese. You remember how we talked about pathological altruism?
Yeah.
Pathological. It's oh God, let's give these motherfuckers vaccines. Fuck. Right? But you're not really helping, you're maintaining the problem. They don't want to do what you're talking about.
Philanthropy is what everyone talks about, as though philanthropy is the solution. Philanthropy is a fallback. It's a it's a stopgap to stop people from rising up and killing you.
I get to feel good because I gave a bums some soup. I was on the soup line. I fed you. That's what it is.
It's like that Living Color song where it's like, I sent my money to Live Aid. Now go away.
Now go away.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. The recent ecological disaster here in California, Porter Ranch, for example. Are incidents like that possibly a turning point wherein, because of this fragile ecosystem that we have, that if we do too much damage, it ain't gonna matter how much money you got? Is that a possibility that we will get a scare enough to make us move away from some of these trends?
Yeah, that's that kind of pressure. We talked about that in the movement a lot, because we try to figure out what's going to actually encourage people to change, and sadly, negative stuff tends to encourage people to change. But there's also the point of no return, man. If we continue this type of pollution stuff that we're doing in the biodiversity loss, there will be a tipping point where the population is going to have to drop, and it's going to be ugly.
Yeah. Oh shit, the world is coughing up blood. I think we got to do something.
I mean,
the oceans are dying. The oceans are dying.
They are. The fish
Pacific
are.
Ocean is dying.
We have half the fish that we used to from 50 years ago. It's really wacky.
The reason I said that about Porter Ranch is they allowed all of these people to move back into these homes with that message, it's safe. And then the people get there and they got film all over their property, the lawn, inside the home. And they are saying, wait a minute, this is not safe. It's not safe. And maybe it will draw attention to the fact that renewable energy sources are necessary now. But we do have to break through up here.
I got to ask the question. I got to ask the question to the panel, starting with Veronica, and then everybody answer, please. Do we really need a government to provide answers for us in order to turn this thing around? Do we need to participate in the political system in order to get this thing turned around? Is that the way? Because, a lot of people say, well, the way to get change is to, protest and then go to your local whoever. Like, how do we get legislation? I mean, is that the way to get it done? Because so many people sit around and wait for them to provide answers. How do we get it done? Veronica?
I think it's kind of the lamest way, because what are you doing essentially when you beg the government to do anything, or beg the white man to do anything, or whatever your version of the big boss is, right? It's like you put yourself in a beggar's placating posture, when the truth is given the flattening of communication because of social media and technology, right? Given the way that you can take things viral, it's like we can lead into each other, but we're so used to asking for permission from the powers that be that when we have technology, we get on our knees and start begging people to change something, when in fact we probably have enough power to change it ourselves if we were to direct our attention and our action in that direction.
Well, that's Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti said it. In order to change the world, you must change you. Yeah. If you change, the world will change. So many people have this outside-in perspective when it's really inside out. So if we start with ourselves, with our family, with our neighborhood, with our community, and then let that be the example for how it should go, like, as a community for black people, and I can only speak from the black experience because I'm a black man who lives in the hood, right? We have to say, okay, why does the corner liquor store guy have to be Korean, right? Why does the nail shop lady got to be Korean, or the weave lady got to be Korean? So at some point we have to redirect the money we spend with others and have it funnel back into us, and then build up from there and create a sustainable neighborhood, right? When you go to Chinatown, you know good and well that's they shit, right? That's they shit. When you come to our hood, you know good and well this is our shit too, but only in representation. Do you understand? We don't own. This is why we get regentrified. When's the last time you seen Chinatown regentrified? You ain't never seen that. It wouldn't be Chinatown, right?
No. Sure.
Was it because we don't really have any ownership or any, equity?
Absolutely.
So it's our neighborhood because it's dilapidated, it's fucked up, it's dangerous. That's how you know it's our neighborhood. There's some barbecue spots. Oh shit, the niggas is over here, right? But my point being, how do we organize, the dollar? Because that's how we got to do it. Economically, organize economically, own some things, get some equity, and then build a sustainable community from there.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how it has to happen. Kev?
Well, how you were saying that it starts with in the home with ourselves and changing it within. They understand that, which is why they if you go look at it, there's a video. I forgot the name of the video, but the guy who did the video, he did a movie called America, Freedom to Fascism. His name is Aaron Russo.
Oh, yeah.
And he gives a story about how
he was kicking it with the
Rockefeller
homie. Are they real or is that a myth?
Who?
The Rockefeller people.
Oh, stop.
I know that David Rockefeller is 684 years old, and this motherfucker got 12 new hearts. I know that.
Rockefellers in government and everything. But he talks about how the Rockefeller told him the story. He asked him, he said, what do you think women's lib was about? And he said, I don't know, women getting rights. He said, no. He said what it did was two things. He said, first of all, it got women into the workforce, so now we're able to tax half of the population who wasn't being taxed. And then he said it got the women out of the house, so now we can get the kids in school earlier so we can indoctrinate the children faster. Wow. Because they knew that the mother was the center of the family. And so if you can get the child away from the mother, then the child can be indoctrinated quicker. And so this is how they got us to that point. So how do we change that? Which is embedded now.
Straight out of the early communist Leninist views of indoctrination of kids. You have to get them away from kids. Not to say there's a parallel necessarily, but that's exactly the same kind of elitist thinking of indoctrination, yeah.
Shit. Bobby?
Quick question, Peter. What do you consider your cohort?
My cohort?
Yeah.
In what sense?
In terms of the work that you do and the passions that you have, the commitments you've made to the universe, the planet, etc. Does it vary from project to project? You got a film cohort, you got a ecological cohort, and what would that population look like?
As far as the group of people?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I'm trying to...
You mean your team? You know, I mean,
your
team.
I got the movement is the, I guess my cohort. You haven't used that term for that. But I mean, there's a whole subculture internationally now that helps out and on multiple levels with projects. It's not just me and the film stuff. It's also literally a global movement. The Zeitgeist movement is in numerous countries, and we have again that event day that's coming up. So there's a vast, diverse culture of people out there that have been supportive ever since all this started, and it's dispersed. It's created all new levels of people trying to do different social.
I guess
change.
that's what I was looking at in terms of what that diversity would. For me to visualize that, is it people of a certain income group? Is it certain nationality or what?
Generally, it's lower classes because this is that's what it's about. This is about alleviating socioeconomic inequality and creating true. Everyone's been striving for civil rights to say, we want democratic rights, we want gender rights, creed rights. No one says we want economic rights. Because everyone's been groomed to think that we can't have economic equality for some reason. I don't know why. So and that's unfortunate. That's the next stage of this, but. No, I got a lot of great people around me that have come through the woodwork. And international, I could go anywhere in the world, and there's always going to be a friend sort of around, that wants to hang out. So.
And that's how we got to create a global network if we're going to pull ourselves out of this. Listen, got to take a quick break. I think this is the final break. We'll be back in 2.2. This show is ignorant. So What Morning Show, boy, we be cutting up. I love it. We'll be back at 2.2. T Radio V, Radio NTV.
Whenever I'm not with you, baby, I can't seem to get my thoughts together. Could it be?
You are watching T Radio V, Radio in TV.
Hey, what's up? It's Tom Logan in the house, and you're tuned into T Radio V.
All right, serious business.
Okay,
here.
ready, guys?
Serious business. Radio voice, everybody. Okay, here we go.
Let's just play. We should put music on and just dance for a minute.
Wait. I have to stop and say one thing. I have to say 2 words.
Hey.
So join us and the rest of the T Radio V.
Ready? Are we on? Give me some music. Watch this. Ready?
Wait, are we rolling?
No. Oh, is this real? Like, I was just totally kidding.
Oh, let's start again. Say that. Okay, start again.
Keep going.
I could do real jazz. Do jazz hands.
That was a stick. I was doing a stick.
Well,
the hair is blonde, it's dye. Just because you don't have any hair and he doesn't have any hair and I have all this fake hair.
Start again.
Fine.
How's the hair and the...
I feel like I'm in a puzzle.
Any show you can have, I can have better.
Any show you can have, I can have better.
Are we filming all this? Yep. That's awesome. This is the good stuff. You're short and you know it. I know it was a lot of hodgepodge, but that's good, right? Yeah, hodgepodge is good to cut.
Let's do the intro one more time. Menopause.
Hello, T Radio V. Hello for us.
Hi, guys. My name is Steve Ranazizi.
My name is Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
My name is Katie Hazelton.
You're watching TV on the radio, but you're not watching it, you're listening to it, because radio on TV.
Hi, T Radio V.
Keep that radio going inside that television set.
I love T Radio V.
Trust her.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio in TV.
Well, here we are. Final thought. Why did I do this topic? Because I think it was Kevin who told me that the legal term for citizen, right? He was telling me that capital C's and small C's have different meanings in law, right? If it's a capital C, you a real citizen, right? Like, you're a sovereign citizen, basically. You know the law. You know how to navigate society. You know some shit. If it's a small c,
14th Amendment.
14th Amendment citizen subjugated to some shit. I want us to become a more learned constituency of people. And that's across race, right? The reason why Trump is successful is because he's catering to dumbasses, stupid people.
The fickle crowd.
Right? The reason why black women and black people tend to stay Democrat is because they stupid. It's not to be disrespectful. It's you're not learned, right? You were born in a Christian society, so I guess you got to be Christian. You were born Democrat, so I guess you got to be Democrat. There's no questioning, right? If religion took questioning out, politics follows suit because politics is a religion too. Ain't no questioning now. You get whipped up into a fervor, and this is how you operate, or you get labeled crazy, right? Lucifer. This motherfucker got a TV show now.
That's a good show, too.
It's a damn good show, too.
It is.
Lucifer, the light bearer. Light has, that's what Lucifer means, light bearer. Light has always been associated with intelligence.
Illumination.
So, to be illuminated, Buddha, the illuminated one, right? Jesus, the morning star, right? Always associating light with knowledge, right? Knowledge is evil. That's the way society is designed. Knowledge is evil. This motherfucker thinks he knows something. We're about to kill him. Oh, this nigga smart? Kill Smarty. Because he gonna fuck with dummies and get them thinking, and now our shit is all fucked up.
Fred Hampton.
Do you see where it's going? Black people, if you know your people, in particular your brothers, make up 50% of the population of prisoners.
Yes.
And America has more prisoners than any other country in the world. You need to be asking questions like, what does the research and development department, the R&D department of privatized prisons look like? You need to be asking those kind of questions. You need to be thinking like, what kind of research are they doing to be able to extrapolate the brothers out of our community like this? We're not asking those questions. We saying, you better do right. You want a good job? You want a good career? You better do right, nigga. You better get out of Massa's way. Now you might not be saying Massa, but that's what you saying. Am I lying? Nope. You better get a house. You better get a good woman. She gonna cook for you. She gonna fuck you. You gonna have a baby. You gonna maintain your life. You gonna have your crib. Shit gonna be good. You gonna have 30, 40, 50, 60 Christmases with that bitch, and then everything's good. This is the type of life we live in.
Yeah.
Right? This is the type of life we live in. And I'm saying, fuck that. If you want to be free, have an original thought. Seek one. Question the old ones. Question everything. Right? Question everything. And stop being so fucking willing to do business with a sick system. You can't do business with a sick system without getting sick yourself. But no, fuck that. If sick equals comfortable, hold on now. Hey, I don't mind being sick if I don't feel it. I can have cancer if I don't feel it. You mean I'll just die one day? Yeah. Give me some of the cancer, nigga. We good.
It's good for the economy.
It's good for the economy. And I keep trying to tell y'all, I'm a relationship guy. If your relationship specialists aren't talking about social constructs and how you interface with each other, How can he lead you to a healthy relationship when he's getting you to abide by unhealthy rules in society? If society is dominated by obsolescence, what makes you think relationship isn't? There's relationship obsolescence too. I guess that speaks to the 50% divorce rate, right? And why 75% of all marriages end over financial matters. Right. Oh, shit. You know, you see how all this shit is locking together. But yet, let's vote for Hillary because she's a woman. Oh, it's a game. And you guys are too willing to play it. What about buying an Earth ship? I keep saying it.
Oh, yeah.
What about getting a fucking Earth ship?
Yep.
What about grinding? Like I tell the gang members all the time. Fuck you a gang member for. Right? If you're a criminal, good. Be a criminal, because America is a criminal.
Right.
But you better take that money while it's still worth something and funnel it into something that's sustainable. If you funnel it into a dream, the big house and the cars and the mansion and the bitches, you're going to have to go back to dirt to maintain it. Yeah. Funnel it into something sustainable so you can get away from society. Society is sick by its very nature. Why? Because it is built by insane motherfuckers. And if your concept of success came from the nut house, what the fuck are you? What version of insanity are you? Now, I'm just saying, brothers and sisters, if we don't come together, if we don't work together, if we don't believe in each other, if we don't sow seeds into each other and build up something sustainable, can you imagine a nationwide Katrina? Did you see how helpless those people were? It's going to happen again. At least the Jews can say, well, we have an infrastructure. Shit's gone bad, we're going underground. We safe. We're going to go to other countries. I use this example with my son all the time. I say, listen, man. Einstein was able to get the fuck out of Germany because he was Einstein. Yes. Right? There was some type of generational wealth in place for him to say, let me get on a plane and get the fuck out of here. Something happened here, you can't do it. We got to organize. We don't organize, we're dead. We got to organize with people of like mind. And they might not be of the same skin.
That's right.
Tim Wise, and fuck you, Tim Wise, for talking shit about our girl. Who's our girl?
Frances Cress Welsing.
Frances Cress Welsing. Fuck you for that. But he was right about the construct of racism to get two oppressed people to be on opposite ends. The wealthy whites was like, let's bring in the poor whites because we don't want them to mix in with the poor blacks and form this big army against us. Right. He was right about that. We got to get right about that. Unify, organize, build something sustainable before they take away the monopoly money. I'm Zoe Williams, and that's my final thought. Listen, let me get Bobby in here. Bobby, where can they find you, bro?
www.realmendon'tplay.com. And remember this, if you want to be free, you can't be dumb.
Woo, freedom, my man.
Yeah, for training or health coaching, go to 3bbootcamp.com/BBB online, or if you just want to hit me up, because I asked people before about financial education. So if you guys have any interest in that or want to help, just give me hit me up at realnagas@gmail.com.
Veronica Conway. Is Veronica still on with us, guys? Guys, Moses, she's gone? Ah, Jesus. You guys got to see the dude in there. He looked like Moses. Okay. Peter Joseph.
So, Peter Joseph.
Are you Jamaican? You got two first names. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I saw that yesterday.
Peter Joseph, man.
So, yeah, anybody can go to peterjoseph.info. That's the hub of all things Peter Joseph. And there's, of course, the Zeitgeist movement. And if anyone's in LA or anyone's in Europe or generally around, if they look out for Z Day or Zeitgeist Day at the middle and end of this month, you might find one in your area. I'll be in Greece for that. And there's also one here in LA if anyone wants to come out on the 26th.
Right, right. Good stuff, man. Great show. Listen, I urge everybody to go out and purchase my book. If you purchase it now from my website, IamZoeWilliams.com, I will send you out a copy tomorrow. Please go there, IamZoeWilliams.com. The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing when Exiting a Toxic Relationship is also available on Kindle. It's also available on iBooks. Please continue to download my app, Zoe Williams app, no spaces, ZOWILLIAMS, and get that mentoring video. Please continue to support the Brothers Movement. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Zoe What Morning Show. We'll be back next week with another heater. This was fire. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Man.
I appreciate it.
Great.
But I'm so OG with it. Brand new heat, but I'm so OG with it. Brand new heat, but I'm so OG with it.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.